Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be finding out what happens if you greet and run into the 3 Civil War veterans with the Civil War items that you can acquire in-game. So those 3 characters are Captain Hayden Russell, we've got Mickey from Valentine, and poor Joe Butler from Rhodes. Now, before we can meet them, what I want to do is grab those Civil War items. And in case you've never run into these items before, they're all located at the old Civil War fort, which I believe is called like Fort Brennan or something like that. We'll find out a little bit more as we start going on. Now, clearly, because it's been, 30 some odd years since the Civil War concluded, the base is sort of very run down. No one is there. At least no one was there when I visited. Now, I don't actually recall there being any single-player missions that take place at this base. There might be some bounties or some side quests that have you running through here, but for the most part, I don't recall it being used for much, other than what we are about to find. So again, there's not a lot left of this base. In fact, most of it is destroyed, but there is sort of like this underground bunker that we can find, and there are a lot of valuables that we can collect by going inside of there. So I recommend that if you go down here for yourself, you grab your lantern. It is very dark and there's lots of interesting things to grab. The first thing we're going to be looking for is the Civil War knife, which can actually be found in sort of the center of the room and is going to be sitting on top of these sort of crates. So you can grab that. It's actually really cool. I don't know like how to describe that type of weapon, but you can see it has like the hand guard and it's obviously pretty rusty. Looks like it's been here for many years now. So you can grab the Civil War knife. That's the first thing you're going to want to grab here. And the second Civil War item is the Civil War hat. It's officially called the Civil War Hardy hat. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this hat looks amazing. So once you grab those 2 things, you are free to loot the rest of this fort. There's a lot of ammo and rifle cartridges and whiskey and pirate rum and stuff like that. So there are a lot of valuables in here. There's also a chest that you should not forget about. This chest is going to have a gold nugget, and it also has a letter called the Civil War Report. And I'm not sure if this gives us really any details on what's going on here, but it's dated May 8th, 1863. Confederate soldiers under General Quincy Harris attacked Fort Brennan at night, climbed trees to fire down into the fort, then battered and broke through the north gate. All survivors being executed and bodies burned. I am next. First Lieutenant Ronald Alger. So I don't know if we can find Ronald Alger. He's technically another Civil War character, but I don't believe that he is around anymore, especially given that report that we just found. And like I mentioned earlier, you are free to explore the rest of the fort, but honestly, there isn't a ton here other than some cigarette cards and some Guarma rum that you can gather. I guess, again, you could use this in Red Dead Online for a pretty cool hiding spot if you were really, really interested. But for the most part, the important things here are the hat and the knife. And speaking of the knife, this is the official description. An old Bowie knife with a solid blade, worn wooden handle, and large D-shaped handguard for protection. This weapon was commonly used by Civil War soldiers and is covered in rust. It was found in a storage room underneath the ruined Fort Brennan in Roanoke Ridge, New Hanover. So that's the description of the knife right there. In case you guys are located where Fort Brennan is, it's on the edge of the Kamassa River, sort of underneath Van Horn, and just to the east of Emerald Station. So you should be able to find it, no problem. So now that we've acquired those 2 items right there, what I want to do is obviously be wearing and have both of them equipped while we talk to the 3 Civil War characters. I was hoping that they might say something or it might change the dialogue that they ultimately have with us. That's the sort of thing I'm looking for here. So the first character we're going to visit today is Mickey, and Mickey is located in Valentine. We've covered Mickey in a separate video. In fact, I'll actually leave running into all 3 of these Civil War veterans in the description because they do have some unique and interesting encounters. But today we're just going to be focused on their reaction to Arthur if he's wearing this special hat and if he has the knife equipped in his hand. So let's start with Mickey first, and this is what he has to say.
You're kind of annoying, my friend.
Hey, buddy! Hey, Mr. Arthur. Why are you always so mad? You're crazy. All that shooting. And they said I was crazy. I'm not crazy. Not like you. You beat up the big fella. He once beat me up. I asked for it. You think you're real crazy, mister?
I'm talking to you, so I must be crazy.
I fought in a war, mister. I did. Sent me strange seeing all them fellas die.
Which war was that exactly?
A bad one, Mr. Arthur. Oh, a real bad.
There's good wars?
I saw terrible things. I ain't been the same since. I get funny. I'll go now. Don't act crazy now.
So unfortunately, it doesn't look as if Mickey gave us any unique lines of dialogue there. He talked about that fight we had with Tommy in the saloon, but he doesn't mention the hat or the knife or anything like that. So that is Mickey right there, and we ended up murdering him just for good measure. Now let's go visit Joe Butler in Rhodes. He is located outside the general store, and if you approach him with the hat on and the knife equipped, this is what will happen.
Hey, mister. Will you give me some money?
Read about the hunt for the Leviticus corn.
Well, howdy now.
Sure.
Well, thank you. Say, where you from?
Around.
Ain't from around here. If that was you, I'd leave. This town lost its goddamn soul a long time ago. Nothing but nasty, miserable people.
Yeah?
Yeah, ever since them Greys moved here, they a bunch of no-good white trash. Yeah, they somehow got rich. About 50 years ago, they moved here, caused a whole heap of trouble. Yeah, I reckon they was Yankee spies during the war and everything.
That's so.
Yeah, sure.
Get the latest. All right.
So far, it looks like we're 0 for 2 with the Civil War veterans, but the reason you might be asking why I'm trying something like this is because there's even a character in Valentine. You know the guy in the Valentine saloon with the raccoon hat? If you come back wearing his hat, he will immediately start to fight you. So I figured maybe something similar would happen here with our Civil War veterans, but we still had one opportunity left, and that was Captain Hayden Russell, and we are going to visit him next.
State your side, sir. North or south? State your side or I'll shoot.
Well, I sure ain't from the South.
Lucky for you. Captain Hayden Russell, 29th Ambarino Volunteer Infantry. Do you bring news from General Skolnick?
Who's General Skolnick?
I'm awaiting orders. We will move on Lemoyne soon and take Saint Denis from the rebels.
You do know what year it is, right?
What kind of question's that? 1862, April 14th. Now move along, civilian, and watch yourself. Johnny Reb's in the area.
So it seems as if Captain Hayden Russell still gives us the same lines of dialogue here, whether we're wearing the Civil War hat and have the knife equipped or not. But I still thought it was a worthwhile experiment to try, given what I just mentioned with that character in Valentine. I think his name is Joe, the guy who wears the raccoon hat, and the fact that he would attack you on sight. So I was curious if, like, Hayden Russell would attack you on sight. Would he be more friendly? I'm not sure if the hat we're wearing is of the same side that he thinks he fights for or not. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, all three of these characters have like multiple encounters that you can have. In fact, all of them have encounters that you'll run into in the epilogue as John Marston. I was doing this as Arthur Morgan, but you can run into all of them like 7 years later. So if you're interested in that, like I said, I'll leave links in the description where we check out all three in detail. We learn about their backstory, their secrets, and much more. But nevertheless, I certainly thought this was a worthwhile experiment to try. Again, especially because that character in Valentine, Joe, the guy with the raccoon hat, he freaks out if you go back into the saloon and you're wearing his hat. So unfortunately, none of these characters reacted in the way that I wanted to, but again, I thought it was fun, and it certainly gave us the opportunity to go check out the Civil War fort, which I've actually never done in a previous video. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, and there's a nice little mystery, I think, tied to it as well. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating on this video. That'd be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.